In 2001, this guy wanted to be a millionaire, and he actually walked away from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show with a top prize, but he never saw a penny of it. How did the most sophisticated cheating scandal in the game show history unravel on the national television? And how did the simple cough bring down a man who thought he'd outsmarted everyone? Let me tell you a story about Charles Ingram and his elaborate plan to becoming a millionaire.
Charles Ingram!
I think it's Berlin. I'm not sure that I've actually ever heard of Van Eyck.
You just won $1 million!
September 9th, 2001. The lights dim in the studio of Britain's most popular game show. 10 contestants sit poised at their keypads, waiting for their chance at life-changing money. Among them is a Major Charles Ingram, a middle-aged army officer with a nervous smile. The faster finger question flashes.
Put these words in the order they occur in the title of the Agatha Christie thriller.
Charles moves fast.
Who was fastest? Charles Ingram! In 3.
The crowd claps as Charles walks to the hot seat. What they don't know, his wife Diana already won $32,000 on the show. Her brother, $250,000. The Ingrams weren't just playing, they were starting a pattern. Charles breezes through earlier questions, £1,000 secured in minutes. Then comes in Coronation
Street. Who is Audrey's daughter?
Charles isn't sure.
I really haven't got a Scoobies.
Ask the audience. Gales wins the vote. Charles just goes with it. Next,
the River Foyle is found in which part of the United Kingdom?
This time he phones a friend.
Scotland, Northern Ireland, or Wales?
Northern Ireland.
Charles just locks it in.
It's the right answer. You got £4,000.
After a few questions, just as he settles in, the klaxon sounds. He will return tomorrow with $4,000 in the bank and one lifeline left. What no one realizes, no audience, not even Chris Tarrant, is that the real game haven't even started yet. This was just the act 1 of something much bigger. When Charles returns the next evening, something has changed. Now sitting among the fastest finger contestants is a man called Tequin Wittig, a college lecturer from Wales with a suspicious tickle in his throat. As Charles tackled question 8 for £8,000, something odd happens. Charles mulls over options, saying each name out loud. When he came to the option Aristotle Onassis, a distinct cough echoed from the direction of the fastest finger contestants.
That it would be Aristotle Onassis.
Suddenly, Charles glows up.
I'm pretty confident it's Aristotle Onassis.
Another cough.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Aristotle Onassis.
It's the right answer. You got $8,000.
Question 9 comes easy to Charles. He immediately picks Switzerland without hesitation. The only question of the night he genuinely seems to know. But with question 10, the pattern emerges again. Charles appears completely lost. Using his final lifeline, 50-50, 2 options remain. Charles mentioned he's never heard of Craig David. As he ponders aloud, a subtle cough sounds when he says Craig David. But somehow, when he was about to lock in a 1,
I'm going to go for A1.
Charles abruptly changed his mind.
No, I'll go Craig David. Yeah.
By question 13, the production staff actually are getting suspicious. The coughing is becoming more and more frequent and obvious. But Charles don't care, he just pushes through, seemingly obvious to the mounting of evidence against him.
Question number 15. If you go for it and give me the right answer, you win £1 million. You'll be
The tension in the studio was high. One final question for £1 million.
A number 1 followed by 100 zeros is known by what name?
4 choices appeared on the screen. Charles stared at them, visibly unsure.
I don't think I've heard of a Google.
He said, looking genuinely puzzled. It sounded strange to him, unfamiliar, almost made up. What he didn't realize was that the Google was actually the real number. And even a tech giant Google got its name from it. But Charles didn't make that connection. Somewhere in the contestant row, Tequin leaned to his left and quietly asked fellow contestant, Tom Lucy, do you know the answer? Tom replied and whispered, it's Google. Tequin nodded. That's what I thought. Now with the right answer, and with Charles unsure and looking for help, It was time for the signal, one final signal. As Charles read through the options and landed on Google, Tequan gave a small, deliberate cough.
I'm sure it's Google. Surely.
Larry Whitehurst, another contestant sitting nearby, had already begun to suspect something wasn't right. He'd been watching Tequan closely and had coughed onto the pattern. He didn't want to believe it, but when that cough came, just as the Charles said Google,
Sure, it's Google.
it confirmed what Larry feared. Something fishy was going on. When he reached Google, the second time, Tequan coughed again. The signal was clear.
I'm going to play Google. Yeah.
Final answer.
Final answer.
You just won €1 million!
The audience exploded into cheers. Chris Tarrant shook Charles' hand, announcing he had just won £1 million. And while the crowd was still clapping and Charles was celebrating the biggest win of his life, a quiet investigation had already begun. The plan to look deeper into what happened that night was already in motion, and the celebration wouldn't last long.
Mr. Ingram, we didn't meet. I am the managing director of Celador.
Right.
I have to tell you that we have suspicions that there were irregularities during the taping of the show in which you participated. We, not for the moment, will be airing the program or indeed authorizing payment of the check.
The morning after Charles Ingram's big win, everything changed. Instead of getting a call to celebrate, he got a call from Celador, the company behind Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. In April 2003, Charles, his wife Diana, and Tequan went to the court. All three were charged with fraud. The courtroom played enhanced audio clips loud, clear coughs right after the right answer. The prosecution said it was a secret code, and the defense said that the Tequan had a real cough, and Charles was just nervous. At first, the jury said that Tequan and Charles were guilty, but not Diana. The judge didn't accept it. He said that the case was based on all three working together. After going back to decide again, the jury found all three guilty. Charles and Diana got 18 months suspended sentences and had to pay £25,000 in total. Tequan got 12 months and paid £70,500. But even worse than the money, Charles lost his military job. People started calling him the coughing major. Strangers would cough at them in public. Their cat was even shot with the air gun, and their car got vandalized. It was just relentless. Tequan quit his job and even trademarked his name, just to stop someone from naming a cough medicine after him. Today, Charles and Diana are still standing, but life looks nothing like it did before. They had to leave the army, they struggled with money, they did some reality shows and wrote some books. But even after all this, they still think they are innocent.
Didn't cheat on that show. There was no plan to cheat on that show. I won that money perfectly honestly and fairly and squarely.
The coughing major case is still one of the wildest scandals in the game show history. And even with all the cameras and microphones, the truth still feels a little blurry for some people. So what do we learn from all this? Maybe chasing fast money can cost you everything. Or maybe, just maybe, if you're going to cheat on live TV, just bring a cough drop.